But we're freestyling tonight. We're gonna freestyle. I might have to put this live stream up for the members because I may, because we may get the language and some of the things, Oh, that might be her, Jack Daniels. I know. That might be her. Mhm. But Terrell Owens, he was speaking to Chad Johnson, and he was talking about why his preference is what it is, why he dates the women that he dates. You know what's very interesting about him talking about why he dates or has dated more, Caucasian women? He actually has a black baby mama, and we're gonna get into that Dr. Phil clip. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen it. Where he was on Dr. Phil, he has those three women that he has children by that are running his pockets for child support. You had two white women and one black woman, so it's not like he doesn't deal with black women at all. He's not in relationships with them like that, which is his preference. All y'all got preferences. Look at K. Michelle; she's worshiping white men once again. And she don't have one, and that's the whole thing about what I'm speaking on is that you got got random woman. You got Terrell Owens, right? A guy who's telling y'all melanated women why he went the direction he went. And instead of y'all internalizing what he is saying, you're attacking him because that's all you're good at is attacking people. That's why you don't have a man now. And that's why your life is the way it is. That's why you're online desperately seeking something. That's why you're putting your health at risk going to a foreign country to get a BBL is because you in your form, you still can't keep a man. That's why you're seeing so many of these regular women going to these foreign countries. These heifers are getting their passport and they're going to Dominican Republic and Colombia, wherever they can get a BBL, Mexico, and they're getting BBLs because no man is checking for them like that. So desperate times calls for desperate measures. And when desperate times calls for desperate measures, they go and they get the surgery. Yes, he's a former NFL football player, random woman. Terrell Owens, he's actually a great wide receiver. Played for the 49ers, the Philadelphia Eagles, at one point the Dallas Cowboys. That's around the time he got his reality show. The guy was a very big deal back in the early to mid 2000s. He was. T.O., right? What's good, Ilani? Make sure y'all like the stream. So I want y'all to understand that, listen, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, right? Hall of Famer. I want y'all to understand that we as black men are not allowed to have a preference. These women will say, don't use your passport, but they will use their passport. Not only are they going to Jamaica to get some D, they're going to these Latin countries to get surgeries. Okay? Total hypocrites. Cincinnati Bengals too, right, General Washington. What's up, big boss? Kathy was good. Make sure y'all like the stream. Yeah, T.O. was that guy. When he went to the Philadelphia Eagles in the early 2000s, that was one of the biggest news stories in sports. Was him going to play with Donovan McNabb. So he was a big deal. And one of the things about T.O., he's always had issues in his relationships because of how he grew up. He had no real relationship with his father. Right? He didn't. He's a very complex guy. He kind of reminds me of Randy Moss. They're very complex people. But that's what makes them great because they are able to be complex people but also be very successful. Randy Moss, despite the issues he had with his children's mother, he still has been a good family man. Now, in regards to what he had to say, listen, black men are not allowed to have a preference. We're not allowed to date who we want. We can't go to foreign countries to meet women, but they can go to a foreign country. I did a story recently where a woman was like, I read a comment where they said they told this woman to get a passport. So, you know what I'm saying? You know what's funny? We've had women in this country, especially melanated women. There's probably research out there. They have been getting their passports and they've been going to these foreign countries for years. Look at Stella got a groove back. But now that a lot of melanated men know their worth. Hold on a second. The fact that a lot of melanated men know their worth and they are traveling, they're enjoying life, they're not miserable. It is pissing off these people. It's pissing off a couple of segments of people. You got your typical baby mama, single mother, bum life, right? And then you got the simp, delusional, it don't matter what her body count is type of a guy. He's gonna be there, telling you that you're wrong, for wanting something better than the women here who have been ran through. Because let's be real about it, a lot of these Western women have been completely ran through. And this is a side note. I did a video, it's on my Patreon. I talked about body count and how they says, you know what, you're not an alpha male if you refuse to get into relationships with women with high body counts. And these are men saying this. They're saying that you should wife up a woman who slept with a lot of men. I want y'all to understand how insane that is. And again, this all ties into this. Y'all gotta let me work. Salute to everybody that's here. Make sure y'all like the stream. I don't know what's wrong with you guys, but there is no way that a woman that has a high body count is worth marrying. There's just no way. Let me tell you this. A woman who's been ran through, she has no soul. When you look in her eyes, there's nothing there. She has had the life screwed out of her. She's broken. Why would you, as a man who values yourself and the people that you have relationships with, why would you want to marry one of these American women who have been ran through? Because listen, contrary to what y'all want to believe, women in this, especially in America, they love a womanizing simp. You got women who know a man has a bunch of kids by a bunch of other women. They know that he likes to cheat, but they will still want a relationship with him. Like, you got women who will be a side chick to a man. Like, I'm not wifing her. She don't know her worth. Why would I wife up a chick that doesn't know her worth? But you got males telling you that you shouldn't worry about her body. Let me tell you, the only type of men that's going to tell you to not worry about a woman's body count is a man that ain't looking to marry these women. And I guarantee you, any woman that he chooses to marry or be in a long-term relationship with, she ain't ran through. But he's going to tell you, you need to overlook the fact this woman has no soul in her eyes. She's completely beaten to smithereens, so much so that you have to start going towards the back door because there's nothing left in between her. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Once you unloosen that present, you can't tighten it back up. You just can't. I don't care if she goes on a sabbatical and tries to be celibate, she's ruined. Now, how is this all connected to Terrell Owens? Terrell Owens has a melanated baby mama. Okay? He has a melanated baby mama. which lets you know he sleeps with melanated women. And when he has dated non-melanated women and melanated women, those non-melanated women probably have less mileage on them. They probably have less attitude, and they actually still have their soul intact. And that's why men like Terrell Owens will choose to date one of them instead of dealing with melanated women who already have a preconceived hatred for black men. Y'all got to understand this. A lot of these women who are upset at Terrell Owens, they have a pre-existing hatred for black men. They worship Caucasian men. Look at K. Michelle. She ain't even got a white man. She never did. When she was messing around with that swimmer, they were never in a relationship. She was just somebody he was screwing. Terrell Owens reveals why he doesn't date black women. Apparently, the former wideout had some not so fun experiences dating black girls in college that instilled a bias in him because they had a preconceived hatred. Those women didn't think he'd make it to the NFL. That's why they treated him the way that they did. That's why those relationships didn't go anywhere. Terrell Owens may no longer be a wide receiver for the NFL, but he's still an important voice in that realm, and an interesting celebrity figure to follow. He made friends in high places in other avenues, such as Travis Scott, and 50 linked up Houston golf tournament. However, in a recent controversial remark from the football star landed him in some hot water, at least at first glance. Moreover, during a talk with a friend on Instagram Live, he revealed that he doesn't like to date black women. Apparently, the former San Francisco 49er had some less than pleasant experiences doing so back in college that instilled a bias in him. My experience with black women growing up wasn't so good, he remarked. When I started dating white girls, my first experience with white girls was when I went to college. I tried to date black girls when I was in college. They did not like me. I was skinny. I was scrawny. I was teased from high school even to college. I got teased for being dark-skinned, so there was a lot of self-esteem issues. And I will tell you this. Knowing black women like I know them, black women I definitely was talking crap about his skin tone because I've seen them. I've seen black women make fun of another person's skin tone. So I know that is true. I know that just by being around them, growing up around them, I know how they can be. He's not lying on them. This is his experience, though. This is his experience.
My experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. When I started dating white girls, my first experience with white girls is when I went to college. I tried to date some black girls when I was in college. They did not like me. I was skinny. I was strong. Right. I was teased from high school, even to college. I got teased for being dark skinned.
Damn, so they tease you, cuz?
Yeah. So there was a lot of self.
But you know what's funny now? Now all these women want a dark-skinned man. Have y'all noticed that? All these black women want dark-skinned men all of a sudden. I'm old enough to remember when y'all liked light-skinned dudes. Now, y'all didn't used to be so forward about it, but we saw it. We saw the attention that you would give lighter complected guys. I saw it when I was in college. You had this light-skinned dude from New York. Came down south. He said, hey, this girls tell me they don't like me because I'm light-skinned. But when I see you, you got all these black women gravitating towards you. So maybe it was the black chicks he wanted. But look, the chicks that were interested in him were darker complected chicks. All right? He had no problem getting into a relationship with a dark-skinned girl. I remember one time was sitting in class. This older woman, she was from New York as well. She literally turned around and was staring at this guy. to get his attention. So don't tell me that he's lying. He's not. We see it. Now I don't hate lighter complected guys. I don't. I don't have a. I'm not like jealous or have a disdain at all, because people like what they like. Can't hate that. We just have to move on.
Distinct issues.
Right.
No, I'm being dead honest. So when I got my opportunity, when my first experience with a white girl, I'm like, okay, it wasn't bad, but that wasn't. I just totally gravitated to white girls after that.
Right.
That wasn't the situation. So again, my experiences with black women growing up wasn't so good. So, but that still didn't deter me from still dating or pursuing black girls.
And we know this why? Because he has a child with a black woman. So he still was out here dating black women, but the relationships that lasted the longest and that was more public was the relationships he had with white women.
Right. So my thing now is, because I know there's the stigma, the stereotypical of athletes, to go off and
let's see,
and date the opposite color, opposite race. But for me now,
what's up, Liana? I didn't send you the message. That's my fault. That's because the stream, me getting everything together. I was trying to quickly get everything together, but I'm glad you're here.
Where I am, it's not even about color. It's not even about race. For me, it's about somebody that I have some chemistry with, good energy, and I get a good vibe with. That's where I am. Like I said, we all want somebody that's attractive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Aesthetics going to play a big part in it. Anybody that says, "Oh, well, I don't care what the person looks like," that's a lie. That's a lie.
He's right. That is a lie. Let me tell you something, man. We should be in 2023. Us as black men should have a preference, just like a lot of melanated women do. But the thing is, a lot of melanated women like to be covert about it because they want to keep their options open. They are afraid that if they tell people what their true preference is, that the men who would chase them and want their attention would back off, and they don't want that. But they're going to be upset at T.O. for being honest.